In this video, I'm going to teach you how to write a Python code to read a file as well as sort that file and write back to new file. In your exam, this kind of problems they will ask for questions. They will ask you to write a pseudocode or Python code to read a file and write it back to a new file after sorting it. To explain it, I will use some list because I can use this list and I can teach you how to sort that list as well as writing back to a new file. To start the Python, I'm going to use this PyCharm as an IDE because it's very easy to write Python codes. It will give you all the methods. You don't need to type each words. It will show you what are the methods you can use. Now this is an existing project. What shall I do? I will close this project and I'll show you how to create a new project. Now using this create new project, you can create your own project and you can name that project. At the same time, you need to make sure that you have the base interpreter pointed to the Python, which is already installed. I already explained you. It is automatically installed once you install this PyCharm. But if you install separately, this is the place you need to select that Python program. Now I'm going to create a project to start our code. Now project is created in your left hand side and project B. And once you right click this project B, you can see the new menu. From new menu, you can create a Python file. This is the way we are going to create a new Python file in PyCharm. Now you can give a name and here you can write your code. First, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read file from uh, existing location. For that, I am typing the Python code, open method. I'm going to write the file name, txt. This is the file I'm going to read. Therefore, I use R method. And I'm going to execute. Now I'm going to execute, right click this area and click this run. Now you can see some error messages are going to display in the bottom of this window. And it is going to say that this file is not exist. No such file or directory name this. Which file directory? This is the file directory. See users and project B. I'll show you how to get this. You have to go to the C drive and users, general, and you have to select these PyCharm projects. Now we have already two projects. This is the newly created project, but I haven't seen any file here. That is the reason it is getting exception. What shall I do now? I'm going to create a new file, text file as name list. And I'm going to add some requests to that. that I will save this file and close. And I re-execute my code and see whether now it is reading properly. Now it found that file. That is the reason no exceptions here. And we can see those results also. How to see the results? We can use the print method and you can mention this file. If this is the file you have made, again we execute the code. Now again it is going to give you some exception. Okay, just name px mode r encode. Some error message. Okay, that means we have to use this read method. Otherwise, it's not going to print directly. It cannot recognize the mode R. Therefore, you have to use again this file, whatever the file you have opened, and you have to read and print. Now you can see the content in that file is going to print like this. But we can comment at this. This is the way we debug the code, whether the file exists as well as the content, whether we can read it properly. The next, what we are going to do, we are going to read this file and write into the array or list. We're going to introduce the list with name as a list. And using a for loop, because I need to add line by line, because this file contain line by line the information about the people. Now we are going to sort this file. To get this first record, what we are going to do, we are going to loop this file, will take as x in this file f, and after that I'm going to append to this a list. Append means we are going to insert a record after each line, each array element. Okay. Now what we are going to insert? Now if I execute this one, it is going to give you exception. It is asking argument. What you are going to insert, right? If you put some kind of AA, then it will going to insert AA to this list, right? But we don't need to insert anything our own. We need to read this file and we need to insert record by record into this list. Therefore, the argument is here is x. This is the one we need to insert into this or append into this list. Okay, now we will execute it again. Now it is executed successfully. If you want to see how this array or list look like, you can just print and click list and re-execute. Now you can see the records are inserted, but you have seen some different text also inserted into this list. Each record end of it /n. This is indicating that you have entered in this file. You have entered this record as well as you have clicked enter. That is the reason you can come down, right? Likewise, you have inserted into this list. Okay, I will comment on this also. Now we verified that the data is inserted into the list. The next we are going to sort this A list. Now you have seen self, key, reverse. These are the three arguments you can use, but you don't need to use anything. Then it will sort using ascending order. We'll see the code. It is executed, no errors. And if you want to see again the sorted list, what you can do, you can print it. I'm not going to write anything. I'm going to copy and paste the previous statement. And I uncommented both. Then you can see what is initial appended values, and after that how it is sorted values. Okay, so you execute the code. Now you can see this is the unsorted list. Now this is the sorted list. Then we don't need this. Our objective is to write back to a new file. To write back to a new file, I'm going to use again. You can create a new file. And we are going to write, or we are going to append. Therefore, if you are going to use write W, then it will override. If you use A, it will append. Okay, we'll see the difference. I will show you. Now we have an array, sorted array. Now we need to read one by one and write back to the new file. For that also, I'm going to use for loop. While in. Now we are looking for, not in the file, we are looking for the array. After that, we are going to write into this if. What we are going to write? Each list item. Therefore, the y is the variable we are getting the each value every time when we are going to execute this loop and write back to this F2 file. What is this F2? We are going to create an append to this file. Okay, now we'll execute this. Now there is no error. Now newly created file should be accessed in your folder. Now it is created the order list, but you have seen some kind of unexpected. One line is containing two names, Anura and Neranda. Why this happened? Now we need to understand that also if you are going to read a file, each time it is going to read not only this, it is reading the enter key also. Now here you cannot see, but it contains it. But what happened this Anura, the last record, if you click down arrow, you cannot go back because I haven't entered. If I haven't entered, it will identify this as a separate record. That is the reason when we read this file, it couldn't recognize there is an enter end of it. Now what I did, I make this mistake and I keep it as separate line and I close. Then I will need to re-execute this. Therefore, I'm going to delete this file because I want to show you that now the new code will execute and it read it correctly and write back to the file. If you want to see now this sorted file, how it is look like, sorted list look like, now you can see print and see how it is look like also. Now you can see each end of record we have entered, right? Now once you are writing back also, now there is no problem. It will write each line using this write method, and next it is going to append into a new line because it identify this is having a intent. Now going back to the newly created one. Now the list is ordered as well as each record is having separate line. This is the one of the problem we can implement using Python code, as well as you can write pseudocode looking at these steps to give as an answer.